creative AI and its future in education. I'd like to go through its history and a lot of these recent milestones in computing. I remember very well when it happened. Okay, the first one when the internet first came to UP Los Baños, 1995, was so revolutionary for me because now instead of sending a pen and paper mail to my girlfriend in Sydney, Australia, who is now my wife, I can now type in a message on email and the email will be there in 2 seconds. Okay. And we have two emails a day. Okay. That's instead of one snail mail every week. So that was 27 years ago, the internet. And some milestones include that I remember very well was 1997 when the top human player was defeated by a computer in the game of chess. And then an interesting company came out, 1998 was Google, and search was very much revolutionized at that time. And then later you have all these new technologies like Facebook in 2004. 2006, I demonstrated in UPLB video on the internet. Internet was fast enough at that time. And then you have smartphones a little over a decade ago. And then now we are in the year, now we have a milestone this year, the year of AI generated art. Okay. Also, to 2022 is the year that Elon Musk is destroying Twitter. Okay. But we're going to AI generated art. And why we don't know yet what is going to happen with uh, with AI generated art and text and code. But there is a deeper question here of what is creativity? Can a machine be creative? I read in the Bible that we are created in man's image and God is creative. So tayo, people are creative because we can create new things. Okay. But how about a machine? Is a machine creative? Okay. People say on one side of the debate, they say that if you can make something new that nobody has seen before or nobody has heard before, then you are creative. In that case, a machine is creative because it takes in a lot of this data, an ocean of data, and then it creates something new. It blends all these previous images and text and audio. On the other hand, there are people who say that machines can never be creative because that is an innate human trait. Okay. So this is a debate, an ongoing debate. And so they use the word creative to define these new types of machines called AI generators or generative AI. So this year, okay, very fresh, you now have machines that can create art and text and every kind of content at the level of human that humans can. Okay. Okay. So let that sink into you. So if I am an artist, I can paint. There are no machines that can do better than that, where you simply type in what you want and it will give you what you want. Okay. It will give you exactly the what you type into that search box. So it was search, diba? When you have Google. So there is this massive database of images and text somewhere in a server. And on that search box, you type in what you want to look for, and the server will look for it in the database, and it will give you your search results. But now it's different. When you type in that prompt box, it will generate, okay, it will not search for it from somewhere. It will generate what you search for, what you're looking for. Okay, so there's a new type of job there called prompt engineer. prompt engineering. So basically, you are an expert in creating those prompts. Okay, for example, an astronaut on a horse. Prompt engineering. So it's a new job. Okay, whenever there's a new disruption in technology, new jobs are created or new jobs disappear, new jobs are redefined. Okay. Now there's a if you're a prompt engineer, you write a prompt, and then the AI will generate that for you. Okay, giving you a picture of an astronaut on a horse. If you're not satisfied, then you refine the prompt. An astronaut on a horse riding on the surface of the moon with a background, waterfalls, something like that. So you can kind of refine that piece of text until you come up with your satisfactory answer. And but at the end of that, you kind of review and you still have to kind of edit the final result of that those iterations. You review the final output of AI. Okay. But it's a constant refinement. But what's amazing here, okay, what amazes me is that you only need this prompt, this piece of text. And anyone can do that, right? Anyone can do a Google search, so you can enter this text. You have your imagination on what you want, okay? Even kids, okay? Give it to a 2-year-old, okay? Ask him what he wants. He will give you exactly like a popsicle stick uh on a on top of a laptop, like something like that. Very creative. So suddenly, if you are an artist, kind of wonder, uh, it takes me around 1 hour or even half a day to paint something like this, or even create it on the computer. Now, the AI generator can do it almost instantly, and it will give you something original every time. Okay, so now you are going into copyright law. So what is copyright law right now? It means that when you copy something, a piece of art or a piece of text or a piece of code or music, then you're violating that copyright law. But the copying of style is not covered by copyright law. We're going to go back to that later. So this is text to image generation of art. You give a prompt, let's say potion, and it will give you hundreds of examples of potions. So these are original, okay? These are generated by the AI, okay? They are found nowhere else, okay? Except on your screen, okay? So these do not exist in a database. So you can create something original every time you do the prompt. So here, this kind of generation of art is now set to revolutionize the gaming industry. Because now, instead of installing a 1 GB game, okay, full of all these assets, gaming assets, characters, backgrounds, so now you can a smart prompt will simply generate all of these objects and characters and backgrounds, and you have an exciting gaming experience that is always original. There is this articles. Okay, take note. This was just last month. So this is a very hot new wave of innovation in AI generated art. It said this is 5 AI art generators you can use right now. Okay. So you can play with it, and then you can start to create your own prompts. It'll give you all these very interesting outputs. As new technology comes, there will be a lot of disruptions. Okay. So this is also an article from last month, October 2022. And this is an article from CNN, because for the first time, you have artist level works of art coming out from this AI generators. So now artists are now scratching their heads. What do I do now? Okay. So the artists, they worry that image generators could threaten their livelihoods, right? So it's a very natural threat. And then those who are on the other side, they say, why are we going to pay an artist $1,000 to to draw something when we can have 1,000 images to pick from for free? Okay, people are cheap. Okay? So if you can read this article, this just came out last month. Okay, this is not last year. This is last month. The disruption is happening right now. Okay, so this should not discourage you from being an artist or from being a content creator. But you really have to think, well, that this task of creating artistic content is whether this is a tool or is it a threat. The copying of style. This is Rain is a singer and a musician. So music or any kind of audio can be copied. Okay, not just the actual audio itself, but the style. Okay, so you give it samples of your work, and then it will continue playing that new content in your style. Okay, and it's the same thing with artists that you give us a few samples of your work, and it will make hundreds of copies of that in your style or in combination with the style of another person. Okay. So parang it's more scary than copying your work. Okay. But if you copy my style, then that style could live on forever, right? If I die, then that my style will. Well, I think that's a good thing that people will remember my style. But then they can make new artworks in my style. Think about that. This is very interesting. This is a text generator. Okay, so you give a prompt, and it will generate new text for you. Okay, and this is for me this is the most interesting one of the most interesting articles here. Okay, now let me give you an example. So this is the prompt. Large language and image models, sometimes called generative AI or foundation models, have created a new set of opportunities for businesses and professionals that perform content creation. And then the AI generated the next, all these italicized words. Okay. It did the research for me, okay, for the prompt. So given the prompt, it generated these new pieces of text. Okay. And the last one is this is something that the writers of the prompt haven't thought yet. Okay. Big sabihin, parang the text generator did the research for you. Okay. It generated new content, and the grammar is perfect. The words are well chosen. And think about that. As a teacher, how do you think that will affect your work? There's this triangle called good, cheap, and fast, right? You can only have two. Okay, you cannot have all three, right? Right. So if you have something that is good or cheap, you cannot have it fast. It will be slow. Okay. If you have something that is good, if you want something good and fast, it's going to cost you. It's going to be expensive. And if you want something fast and cheap, okay, then it's not going to be good. So this middle ground, good, cheap, and fast, is not possible. Okay. But when you have AI generated art, it is all three. It is good, very, very good, high quality. It's very cheap, and it's very fast. So think about that. Very rare will you have a product like this. And uh, and that's the reason why it is very revolutionary. What are the effects on teaching and learning? Okay, so this is actually my last slide. Okay. Pero before I show that last slide, pakita ko muna yung Dolly 2. Okay. So this is the most popular AI art generating AI that is out there. There are many more, and every month there are new ones coming out. But this one is interesting because this is created by the organization called OpenAI, founded by one of the founders is Elon Musk, and it is uh, it is the one that actually made all the buzz about this AI generated art. So this is the astronaut riding a horse. This is generated by the AI, and then you can have many different variations of this. Okay. So you can create 100 variations for you, and you can simply pick one, okay, whichever, and then you can modify it. You can modify the prompt so that it will suit your needs. And this is a type of AI that expands the a work of art. So if you have a work of art, okay, or a picture, even a picture, it can expand yung gilid niya. Okay? It can create new content based on what is already there. Okay? And by hovering your mouse over a place on the picture, you can change it or you can recreate it. You can change the style and you can have variations of an existing picture or work of art. You can even put your picture there. Okay. So what is groundbreaking about art is it touches the human spirit, right? It touches our humanity. When you look at a picture like this is not simply these are not simply numbers. These touch our heart and soul, right? When you look at a picture like this, okay, bakit siya malungkot? Why is she sad? Okay, I want her happy. Or what is she thinking about? That is the how art affects us. Okay. And when you have AI that generates this, okay, it can really touch what people at their heart and core. Okay. So you can generate any style. So explore nyo na lang. Okay. Yun, nakita na yung last slide ko. So I'm trying to guess what is the effect on teaching and learning. Okay. So at first, if you are a content creator, you can look at it as a tool. Okay? You can create new ones. If you usually at the beginning of when you're starting to make content, you have a blank mind. You want some suggestions, right? So as a tool, the AI generator can give you 10 suggestions. Okay? And then you can start with that. It can be a tool for us who are not artists. So we can create our own artwork or illustrations as content for our learning materials. So if you're a teacher, in the very near future, or even right now, you can create original content, okay, with so much ease. And you don't have to worry about copyright, okay, because it's always original. It is generated. And it can be very personalized for each learner. Okay, so the experiences of the learner or the background of the learner can be used as a prompt in order to fashion the content such as the text or the visual. Ito na yon. If you can use AI generated content, so can your students. Okay. So Think about that. If you can create original content for yourself, your student can also create and submit AI generated content. Okay. So your student can submit AI written text that is original. Okay. Ibig sabihin, it's not inside Turnitin. It is original. So, and what do you think about that? Siguro, you can put it on the chat. AI can copy the style of an artist. The copyright laws do not cover it. Okay. So if you are an artist and they copy your style, there's not much you can do about it. Okay. We are just at the beginning of this revolution. Okay. So many disruptions are set to happen the next year. So thank you very much.